friends, and welcome to Spilling Studio. My name is Sam, and this week we have 7 new ARE practice questions for you. We have 1 question per exam and a bonus question at the end. Let's get into it. First up is practice management. Which of the following business types could personal assets be at risk? Check all that apply. Corporation, general partnership, S corporation, limited liability company, sole proprietorship. Feel free to pause here to answer. The answer is general partnership and sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorships involves one owner who operates a business and earns an income. However, they have no asset protection. In a general partnership, partners share in the management, profits, and risks of the business. Income is reported on personal tax forms. Therefore, owners are personally liable for business debts and liabilities. Corporations, or C Corp as they're sometimes called, exist as a separate legal entity from its members. Therefore, corporations are financially and legally independent from its shareholders and pose no personal risk to its members. In an S corporation, income and losses are allocated to shareholders in proportion to their holdings. This business type reports income and losses on their personal federal tax returns and is assessed at their individual tax rates. An advantage with an S corporation is that it includes limited liability protection, so owners' personal assets are not at risk. A limited liability company, or an LLC, provides limited liability protection similar to a corporation, so the owner is not personally liable. This company structure is typically used by small businesses. Next up is project management. Our question is, which of the following is not the responsibility of the architect's project manager? Creating the project schedule, tracking personal time spent on the job, tracking construction costs during design, or tracking construction costs during construction. Go ahead and pause here to answer. The correct answer is tracking construction costs during construction. Tracking construction costs during construction is the responsibility of the contractor. The project manager is responsible for creating the project schedule, which includes all phases of design. That is, schematic design, design development, construction documents, bidding, and construction administration. The project manager will track personal and team member time spent on each of these stages and compare time spent to time allocated in the schedule. If the project is behind, it is the project manager's responsibility to adjust accordingly to meet the client's deadline and deliver the project on time. During design, the project manager is also responsible for tracking construction costs of the project. It is the project manager's duty to ensure designs at every stage are within the project budget. If the project manager estimates the current design is over budget, they must adjust the design as needed to align with the client's budget. Our programming and analysis question is, an artist enjoys painting in the early morning at her art studio. However, the intensity of sunlight causes bright reflections and warms her space to an uncomfortable temperature. What should the architect propose? Moderate overhangs to the south, moderate overhangs to the northeast, vertical louvers to the northwest, or vertical louvers to the southeast? Pause here to answer. The correct answer is vertical louvers to the southeast. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The artist is looking for a solution that helps to limit sunlight in the morning when the sun is in the east. Overhangs provide protection to the south. If overhangs are going to be used on the east or west facades, they need to be very large, not moderate. Vertical louvers are best for east and west facades. So our answer is vertical louvers to the southeast. Now on to project planning. Which of the following urban concepts led to the idea of zoning? City industrial, satellite towns, garden city, or new town? Pause to answer. The answer is city industrial. The city industrial concept was introduced by Tony Garnier in 1917 as a reaction to the conditions of the Industrial Revolution. The idea was to create separate zones for residential, public, industrial, and agricultural uses that would be connected by vehicular circulation. Satellite towns are smaller towns dependent on larger towns nearby for business. The Garden City concept was an attempt to combine the best of city and country living. At the center would be a civic and cultural center surrounded by housing. These areas would be separated by a park, with industry and agriculture furthest from the center. New towns were intended to be autonomous centers that included housing, shopping, and business opportunities surrounded by a greenbelt. I post new videos every week, so please hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on a video. Next up is project development. A local banker has hired an architect to design his backyard. He wants a garden, a deck off his house, and a playground for his 2 kids. Part of the design requires 50% of the yard be level for the garden and the playground. 20 feet from the house, there is a 10% slope, which will require a 4-foot retaining wall. What type of retaining wall should the architect propose? Cantilever wall, gravity wall, or counterfort wall? Pause to answer. The answer is gravity wall. Gravity walls are commonly used for low retaining walls with low forces and can reach up to 10 feet max. They resist forces with its own weight by soil pressure and soil friction against its surface. Cantilever walls are limited to 20 to 25 feet. This retaining wall resists forces by its own weight and by soil weight on the heel of the base of the slab. Counterfort walls are used for heights greater than 25 feet. These are similar to cantilevered walls, but they use evenly spaced counterforts, which are reinforced concrete webs that act as diagonal bracing. When you're testing, you will have a lot of situational questions like this, where they give you an abundance of information that may not be necessary to answer the question. For instance, in this question, we're told that there's a 10% slope 20 feet from the house, but you actually don't need that to answer the question because they give you the height of the retaining wall at 4 feet. So once you see the height and you realize you don't need that other information, move on to determine which is the most cost-effective and suitable solution for the owner. For construction evaluation, our question is, in a design bid build project, which of the following are included in the bidding documents? Check all that apply. Instructions to bidders, specifications, performance bond requirements, bid security information, construction change directives. Feel free to pause here to answer. The answer is all of the above except construction change directives. Construction change directives, or CCD, are not included in the bidding documents. CCDs are issued during construction when a change needs to be made right away so that the project can proceed. But the owner and the contractor cannot agree on revisions to the price or time needed to make that change. Last but not least, our bonus question this week is, a client located in a moderate climate with cloud cover most of the year is looking to save energy with their cooling system. Which of the following should the architect propose? Dual condenser cooling, economizer cycle, solar-powered desiccant cooling, or displacement ventilation? Pause here to answer. The answer is economizer cycle. An economizer cycle can be used when the outdoor air temperature is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It works similarly to an open window by allowing cool outdoor air in and closes when the indoor temperature reaches a set temperature. Dual condenser cooling uses 2 condensers instead of 1. Solar-powered desiccant cooling uses a desiccant, a material that absorbs water, to dehumidify and cool air by evaporative cooling. Due to the cloud cover in this situation, this would not be the best option. Displacement ventilation is an air distribution system that supplies air at the floor level, and as the air warms, it rises to return air grills in the ceiling. That wraps up our questions for this week. Please go ahead and leave a comment below with a topic you liked covered in the next video, and let us know how many questions you got right this week. Thank you all for joining. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks!